Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue our exploration in understanding just a little bit more of this ancient language, my native tongue. Okay, so today we will cover in 人设, which is a very contemporary Chinese expression. Because in this social media and this mass communication age, almost everybody have this person displayed or person in display or this person that kind of a design and then want you to see. For example, me, I'm doing this program, I'm speaking in front of a camera, kind of record myself, even if I never edit. It's kind of truthful as how originally this unscripted show would turn out to be, because sometimes I don't exactly know what I'm going to say. That's kind of fun, but still, I feel like it's only a very, very narrow window to look at me. It's not the full display of me as a person, right? So I'm only sharing my language part, my language interest with the audience here. So almost in that sense, like that's already display. That's not the true full 300-degree me representation. It's a partial me. So that's what this Chinese expression is about. 人, again, we have this almost English letter R looking thing. But compared with the simplified Chinese, this traditional Chinese has more interest. Simplified Chinese has this symmetrical structure. That simply means what is person or what is human. It's two-leg standing being. That's Homo erectus. There's nothing much to it. But then the ancient Chinese make it asymmetrical. Make it one side is straighter. It's not completely straight either, but the other side kind of wrap over with a little bit of tip over and then curvier. So that almost, give us the sense of language creators when it comes to describing what is a person, what is a human. It has this left and right structure, almost like our two hemispheres in contemporary neuroscience, right? Of these two sides of us. And I would like to imagine that all of us are a combination of two sides of us. We're in this conflict crossfire between the two of us, two sides of us. However you want to look at it. Like, are you introvert or extrovert? We may change. We may, the comfortable level of us to interact with people may vary from day to day. So, humans are a complicated thing, organism. Okay, so that's 人设 looks a little bit more complicated. And it came with left and right in basic, but the right can be further broken down into two structures. Okay, let's start with the left. The left, Chinese call it 言字旁. So 言 means speaking function. I guess at the beginning of the language creation, language creators are fascinated by language itself. So a lot of Chinese icons came with somewhat language-related icons. Either is pronunciation of the language or something about giving commands or giving instructions. So speaking serves a big function in how the culture operates. So, okay, let's look at the speaking. It's a little bit complicated too. The box here at the bottom with up tilted corner, almost like looking like a smiley face. So that's the mouse symbol that Chinese abstracted into that kind of like, it's hard to make it into that shape, but it's like a mouse, okay? It's an opening, right? And then the top is two convex shape, right? String together by a vertical line. And you have to notice this vertical line doesn't puncture through the second arch over there. So it's a little bit complicated to explain, but this arch, first arch on the top with this vertical line serves as a direction of like we are talking about entering into something that's upside down upside down symbol for entering. Because I can imagine entering have this like arch thing and then this pointer thing. That means you're going from this original space, which is over here, and then with this almost like a spike. That way you can easily puncture through some border and into a new space. So that's Chinese very visual way, very forceful way to symbolize entering. And then the second convex shape falls under falls under this spiky thing. That's an indicator, almost like a contemporary like arrow sign to mean pointing at, okay, this is the new space. This puncture, the needle part is what we mean. So that means it's entering, but it's the new space that we mean it. So, okay, now one is pointing toward the mouse and also have this pointer, this arrow, language way of arrowing, pointing at, okay, this is the new space that we're talking about. That means inside the mouse. And people can infer what's inside the mouse. Besides the teeth, we have a whole set of characteristics that express different type of teeth. That the other thing inside the mouse is the tongue. So the whole thing, this two convex shape, plus this vertical line, plus this mouth symbol at the bottom, the whole thing means the tongue. Okay, and on the tongue icon, you can already see the mouse icon, right? And tongue and mouth are the major organs of the pronunciation making. So this is a speaking machine. The speaking machine with two horizontal lines, that's the sound bites produced by the speaking machine. So you have the organs to make speaking, and the results, the sound bites come from the results of the producing the sounds. So the whole thing, the organ plus the result together means speaking. And speaking in Chinese language signify like somebody, whoever speaking, that means somebody has opinion, a voice, and we have to put ourselves in a historical context. Like whoever were able to speak means they are in the position to speak. And it was a very hierarchical society. So whoever can speak have to be on a certain social ladder to have their voice heard. So for example, I guess majority of the people, women back then, they don't have that position to speak. We do have, throughout the history of English literature, have very rarely educated women and who happen to have possessed the talent to express themselves verbally and became poets like that. We do have, but it's in comparison to male authors. They are very far and few throughout history. So in that, we can kind of infer like whoever can speak really are in that power position to be able to speak to people. Okay, so speaking on the left side. The right side is a three-finger hand symbol. You're doing this from the bottom right of the screen, and you can almost like view it as, a player, first-person player, can have your hand in there. And then the top have this shape. Scholars, we can only imagine what language creators meant it. Scholars had it that is a type of whip. So we can also infer kind of a reverse engineering that in contemporary Chinese, when the preserved meaning of this, the right side of it actually means slavery. So I would imagine in ancient times, Chinese society, slavery was a common phenomenon as well. So a certain population in that land or on that land are in the slave category. And so people, whoever are holding the whip are the slave owners or the slave watchers that, give them orders what to do. And plus the speaking sign. together draw a picture of the ancient times who are in power to enslave the other class of people to do something. And so this eventually over time, it become a display. So I would imagine that because the original of this icons means slavery and speaking, right? Slavery speaking means somebody put their will on top of some other people. So this willfully enslaving of another group of people become this willfully transformation of the world in a certain way. So in contemporary, because slavery no longer in existence, depends on how you view it, then this 是 becomes this willfully make something in a certain way. Then it becomes like almost like a visual merchandise, like visually display or somewhat packaged to present something in a certain way. So there is this design or willfully by, enslave this hand, like forcefully shape something into a certain way or express something in a certain way. I mean, language matters. It transforms how we think things, right? However you say it or however you do it, right, forcefully do it, are going to change the shape and form or the presentation of something. So that combined together in contemporary language, it becomes displayed. So this person displayed is the English equivalent of persona. So it's, you never see the full person in full view. Whatever you see on a 2D frame as a, this is like a model in a 2D frame, freezing in time in a smiley face. You may see this one split second of her. You don't get to see the more. And even in a video form, like say she's an actor, she acted out a story. Again, that's something by design, something displayed, intended for you to see it that way. It's always partial, incomplete truth about somebody. So that's persona. All right, cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.